Hi guys, and hello from the hilltop. I'm AmandaRachLee and I welcome you to my channel, The Planted Perfectionist. Today's video is my 2021 walkthrough, and we will be discussing the two journals that I used over the course of the year. For those of you who don't know, for the year 2021, I did a different color for each month, so as the year progresses, hopefully you'll be able to see the rainbow that I created. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and keep this particular part of the video short. By all means, grab yourself something sweet to eat. Hopefully you're enjoying your holidays, and let's go ahead and get this started.
Alright guys, so for those of you who don't know, I used two bullet journals for this particular year. This one is by AmandaRachLee. It is one of her 2021 bullet journal dot journals that she did. This was one that was just the plain pages and all that good loveliness. So here are my introduction pages, and this was my first attempt at a grid spacer. I had never done one before, and I tried to do one fancy and it sort of worked out. Here's my future log, and when I say I use my future log, I really do. I use it a lot. I use it for everything. So as you can see, it is very full and color-coded. Then, since this particular bullet journal only has the first 6 months, you can see I only did about half of what I had planned on my student loan goals. You'll see in the other one how I completed it, as well as how I used my bills and savings. Here are my goals page. I didn't get as many done as I thought I would, but I did okay. Same thing with the books that I read this year. I did read more than what I got put in here, but since again this is only for the first 6 months, only one shelf got full. Here's my password list. It is in code. Don't try to hack my stuff. And then followed is my YouTube ideas spread. I use this for keeping track of the items that I use for each month, such as my markers, etc. So that way I can kind of go back and see what colors really worked well or didn't work well together. So for January, the color for the month was pink. As you can see, I pretty much nailed it. I had lots of stickers. I did very scrapbook style with this, along with some tabby-doos that I did for each of the months. These particular tabby-doos did not last. That is why I did not recreate them for the second book that I used for the year. This particular spread, the Sleeps and the Steps, this is the only spread I did of the whole year that looks like this, and I enjoyed it. I should probably do it again. This was also a no-spend challenge month, so I tried not to spend over exuberant amounts of money, which I probably need to redo at the beginning of this month again, so I can reset. And, in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. and his birthday, I did make sure to include a quote by him, because he is one of my favorite peoples of all time. This was a 2-page weekly, and then of course some catitude with gratitudes, because you have to have cats somewhere. So I had an extra page in here, and that's how this word for 2021 came along. As you can see, it's kind of blank. The spots that I was poking at is where I had sticky notes for those, and I have since transitioned them over to the other journal. February, the color was red. This worked out really well because, of course, it is also Chinese Lunar New Year. To tie into that, I also did the theme of the Chinese lantern plant. Again, to tie everything in kind of cohesively, and I absolutely loved how well that turned out. I also included, since it was the year of the ox, I had some different things here, like the mood tracker that was didn't quite get finished. As you can see, one of his legs wasn't completely colored in, but you know what, that was actually probably one of the few mood trackers that I really tried to fill in as best as possible. I also included different kinds of weeklies, again with the Chinese lantern plant setup, as well as some lanterns here and there. Get it? Lanterns. And just had fun with it. I had slapped some washi in here in places, and just, this was probably one of my favorite themes for the whole year in its entirety, especially this spread with the Chinese lantern plants in the center, which was kind of hard to do. So for Valentine's Day, I was by myself. I did not have a date for Valentine's, and so I kind of did a self-love Valentine. I wrote a Valentine card to myself, and this was just something that I kind of did, treat my dog to an extra treat bone with love and just have some good fun. And then we move right into orange for the month of March. Something I like to do for my months of March is I like to do a minimalist March. That's just something I like to do. AmandaRachLee likes to do her green for the month of March. I like to do minimalist. I also had a fasting tracker, and then my word of the day here. This was the only month I did a word of the day instead of like a mood tracker, and it's fun. It's the only one I did for this year, but I've done one in a previous year, and I would like to bring that back again for my minimalist March, more than likely, just because it is fun and it's a new way to think on how to do a mood tracker. So this was the last week of March, and then we're moving into April. So the month of April was yellow. I also wanted to kind of tie in the April showers theme. So that is April in the bottom left-hand corner, based off of me and what I looked like when I was little. And then, of course, cats, because you have to have cats. And this was the epitome of my scribble art. I really enjoyed mixing mediums with both the markers as well as the colored pencils and all of the stickers, especially the cat stickers. Just having some fun. I even included some cardstock as well as some printed images. This was probably the biggest mix of mediums that I used in any of my spreads. This particular spread here, this weekly, was one of my two most favorite weeklies for the entirety of the year. Just because I love the vines moving down it's a wall, and then of course the each day is like a window box cut out kind of thing. And this spread here was inspired solely by that cat reading a book sticker. I had this one had a little bit of an extra room on the right hand side, so I did a little mood board with some extra of the cat stickers and washies, and then of course moving into an Easter spread. I have a lot of like Eastery cards and some of these flower stickers. Most of those flower stickers and stuff is from freebies. And then so month of May was green, inspired by a picture I found from Joanna Gaines, aka the Fixer Uppers, of her green piano. So I decided to do this green musical theme, as well as include some of the black washi that I have. My mood tracker was these musical notes, which was more creative than I think I could. I surprised myself with that kind of creativity. And then I just had my weeklies here. As you can see, I did include tabby doos cut in as well as the tabby doos on the outside, but those outside ones just got so damaged I decided to just nix them all together. Here is my Mother's Day spread. I didn't do a birthday spread for the month of May because my birthday is in May. I just went with the Mother's Day and had fun. This was my favorite weekly spread of the whole year, hands down. I was just so creative. I had so much fun with it. It didn't leave me much room to write things in certain days, but I tried to make sure that the days that it didn't have much space, I didn't need to write much. And then here's a little Dutch door with the keyboard at the bottom, and then we move right into the month of June. So the month of June was the color teal. It's a good medium mix between green and blue, and so that's why I made June this particular color. Not to mention I love the color teal. If you watched my previous, my January plan with me for 2022, you noticed that my teal marker was getting a little thin. It's because I love it so much and I use it so frequently in some of my journal entries, like this one for the double lines for the gratitudes. This was one of the few months that I included a gratitudes that wasn't November. I always do gratitudes in November, but I decided to throw it in here as well. This was also, I think, the first time I did a 2-page budget where it was, you know, front and back instead of side to side. As you can see, I used it all. But that was new for me as well. And then I have just a little quote page here to kind of fill up some space. And then boom, right into my weeklies. Here's my habit tracker. This again was, I had the habit tracker on the left, which you'll see again in my January 2022. I did the same kind of concept. So that way I can see the habit tracker for the whole month. The only thing I did differently is I didn't have the mini calendars. Those were fun and I didn't mind doing them, but I just decided not to include them for the month of January. They worked well for the June though, because I had these beautiful pictures that I found and I wanted to include all of them. So that's one reason why these particular Dutch doors were done the way that they did. So that is all that I have in my AmandaRachLee for the first half of the year. As you can see, I had some extra pages at the back. I did have enough. I could probably have stuck July in there, but I wanted to go ahead and just do an even Steven split. So from, you know, first half to second half. So for the second journal that I used for the year 2021 was this pink Mackerel Tekukor I found on Amazon. As you can see, it's pretty darn full. I did have a little bit of space left again at the end. It just, I try to be stingy on my pages, and I just haven't really acclimated to being able to use more pages. Anyway, so for the setup pages in this particular spread, I decided to kind of use the colors that I had used for the first half of the year, the pink, red, all of those in these, and hopefully you'll see as the pages progress, they also semi-continue with the rainbow theme. I only did the last 6 months for the future log, and then here is my student loan tracker all filled out. It is done. It is done. On top of that, here's my savings and bills tracker kind of thing. As you can see, it's not completely filled out because I haven't filled it out at the end of December. I have to wait till next week. And then here are those sticky notes that I moved from my first journal to this journal to show my goals for that tie into my word for the year. Again, my YouTube ideas, excuse me, spread that has my inspiration picks and colors and things. And then July is blue. To be fair, I think this particular color should have been more on the indigo side of things, but this is what I ended up doing. I was very busy during this particular part of the summer, and so I kind of almost just had to slap this together a little bit. I had always wanted to do a Moroccan tile theme, but they are such a pain to draw. I went the cheap route and I printed off a bunch of pictures and used them in as many creative ways as I possibly could. This was also a pretty good contender for one of my monthly spreads, or weekly spreads I really liked because of the circles in the corners, but not quite my favorite. So yeah, just my weekly spreads. You also probably noticed my little weight trackers stuck here and there. This was also when I tried to start kickstarting my weight loss again, and it was a hot mess summer. This is where I stuck my half-year check-in. I should have had it at the end of my last journal, but I honestly ran out of time, so that's where I stuck it. Ah, the blue space lions. I love these blue space lions. They bring me so much joy. I actually have that particular space lion up on my wall, and it's in frame. The original painting is in a frame. It is mine, and I will have it forever. The only person I could ever think of giving it to would be my sister, because it was inspired by her, who is a Leo. But in the meantime, it's gonna happily and merrily stay on my wall and just bring me joy. If you want to know how I got that particular stuff in here, please watch that video. It's a fun one. I will say these particular short days, since I cut them so small, I basically cut the page in half. They didn't quite work as well as I would have thought they did, but I was really busy in August, so I didn't really have much to write. There was a wedding in the middle of August, so I was a crazy seat. This was their invitation and all that other stuff. I don't want to show too much of it, but I was busy in August. And September with Bean! This was my little sweater monster. He is so cute. He's one of my favorite creations that I have ever just like doodled. But yes, Bean, the color, oh heavens, this was the color purple, because August was indigo, this was purple. And I also wanted to kind of tie into the fall colors. I didn't finish my mood tracker. Leave it to me to not finish the mood tracker. And then I even had one habit tracker that I only did one for the entire month. To be fair, I did do some walking, so there you go. Tried to stay active, or at least as far as I could, until the weather started to kind of go and all that good stuff. But yes, this was the color purple, and I just had a merry old time doodling Bean over and over again. He was so much fun to draw, especially when he's tired, or the sleeves of his sweater just kind of flop. Then of course pumpkins, because it was the beginning of the fall, and we were hoping that we would have a nice fall, and fall came late, and it's, oh my god, it's so bad here. We haven't even had any snow at all. It's Christmas and we haven't had a single drop of snow. So I know it's not quite on the spectrum of the rainbow, but October was the color maroon, and since it was also the start of kind of the football seasons, my niece was going to West Texas A&M. I decided to do an A&M theme, especially Reveille, the dog. In case you're curious, the black and white photo is a picture of the original Reveille, and then this Reveille in the bottom right is one of the most recent ones. They prefer collies. But yes, the color was maroon, and I really enjoyed drawing the dog. I'm not very good at drawing collie dogs, apparently. I also had tried to do the doodle Inktober, but again, life. I got busy with work, and it just didn't work out. I didn't get to finish. No, it's not an excuse. It's just a statement. I just didn't get to finish. I did at least manage to get a lot of the, get all my weeklies done. I was so behind in the months of October and November. If I didn't sit down and get all of these weeklies done in a timely fashion, I would not have had a weekly for that week. Like, I didn't even do a Halloween spread. I had planned to do a Halloween spread with the Reveille, the collie dog. I never got to it. We just got so darn busy. November was brown, and I wanted to do this cotton theme. I had these beautiful cotton stickers, and I really wanted to use them, and I did a dial calendar very similar to the month of November. Again, I did my gratitudes. Again, didn't finish. But at the same time, I had also started to transition. I was getting prepped to move to my new job. And plus I had doctor's appointments and this and that and everything, and life just got in the way. I did enjoy using these little fairy stickers and things along with the cottons and the little fox stickers. Those were actually sticky notes that I would cut up and tape down because they weren't very sticky to begin with. But anyway, and then, of course, Thanksgiving. Oh my god, pretty much once Thanksgiving hit, I blinked and everything just became a blur until Christmas. So that was all the colors, and since I used up all the colors, December was black and white. I really liked the idea of doing a black and white Christmas theme. So yes, it would have Christmas vibes, obviously, like with the Santa riding the bicycle, but at the same time, you could almost tie it into anything and just do a black and white photography theme, and it would still be just as beautiful. I love that picture of Elvis Presley at Christmas time. Blue Christmas is still one of my favorite Christmas songs, bar none. Lots of ums. I am sorry, I keep saying so much. My budget tracker here isn't quite finished. As you can see, it stopped on the 13th. I've got to play a little bit of catch up here. And then of course, my weekly spreads. I'm not really planning on doing anything at the end to kind of transition into the new year, since I've already gotten the new journal already set up. So in the meantime, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for this year of busy awesomeness. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video real quick. Hopefully some of my spreads made you feel inspired. If you want to know how I did any of those, by all means, go back and watch the videos for whatever month you're interested in. If you like my content, subscribe. That would make my day. Same thing with a comment. You can find me on Instagram at the Plateau Perfectionist with underscores in between each word. And then you can also find me on Facebook by the same name minus the underscores. And just, I hope y'all have a wonderful holidays. I hope you have an amazing year in 2022. I'm really hoping against hope it is a lot better than these past couple years. And in the meantime, I will see you in the new year. You're awesome. Love you. Bye.